Honorable heads of election management bodies and accompanying members of the delegations of all countries, my colleagues, Honorable Election Commissioner Mr. 𝗙𝗍𝗲 Kumarji, Dr. 𝗘𝗹𝗲𝗰𝗁𝗍, representatives of international organizations, the media delegates from Bhutan and Israel, senior DECs, Mr. Dharmendra Sharma, Mr. Nitin Vyas, Mr. R.K. Gupta, DGs, very good afternoon and namaste. It gives me great pleasure to warmly welcome all the foreign delegates to India on this momentous occasion when we are holding our general elections for the lower house of the parliament. I'll request all my ECI colleagues to give a big hand to the delegates who have come here. The contribution of Indian electoral space and work done by the Election Commission of India holds a significant portion of the world democratic space. In terms of process and capacity, it generates what we can legitimately call the democratic surpluses. This is a huge significance in the otherwise growing concerns of shrinkage of the political space, or sometimes called the democratic backsliding. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you an overview of the gigantic nature of the job on hand for the ECI for the current elections with some statistics. You have been exposed to this in the beginning. We have, as you know, around close to 970 million voters, which is, you know, the more than the combined electorates of many countries put together. And this voting will take place at around 1 million polling stations, to be conducted by around 15 million polling personnel. So that's the scale of the exercise. We presume this is the largest peacetime exercise of movement of man and material anywhere in the world. So maybe even many war times are not in such a short span this much of a movement which takes place. The volumes that are in play in Indian elections, as has been indicated just now, are just one aspect of the credibility of the entire electoral process. The numbers, when stacked up with previous data and statistics from 1952 onwards, through 17 general elections to the parliament, create an entirely different narrative in depth, consistency, and credibility of the outcomes. Our results have never, ever been doubted. They have all been accepted by the political parties after the elections, So this is only 17 elections to the parliament, and then we have provinces. So there are 407, close to 405, 406 times the heads of governments in the provinces have also changed by the elections, and always the results accepted. We take immense pride in this feat of the Election Commission of India. And the Indian election space is unique, as neither electoral registration is compulsory nor voting is mandatory. Therefore, the ECI is required to operate in a totally persuasive environment. We persuade the voters to register, we persuade them through our outreach programs to come and vote. And we boost up. And we feel very pride in the fact that in 970 million voters, this is exactly what should be the ratio of the electors in population. So we are very, very sure that we have registered almost everybody. And in the first two phases, we have also reached a voting percentage of 65%. So in a persuasive environment, this is one of the credible outcomes which we feel very satisfied and proud about. It would be axiomatic to say that credibility of the process that we undertake is validated through the turnout and also the electoral rolls, as I just mentioned. We all acknowledge that any credible electoral process has to necessarily have its backdrop, and that is the trust of electors. There is nothing else as matters to us as much as the trust of electors. We display all our electoral roles at every stage of the preparation and share it with the political parties. Entire electoral process, which you will see for yourself, every political party, its candidate is involved at every stage of the election process. From commissioning of the machines to preparations of the voting compartments, voting machines, inside the booth, and at the end of at the close of the poll, each candidate's agent is given a form saying that so many persons voted in this polling station. So that is the kind of transparency which he brings along with him to the counting day, on the counting day, and sees and matches that the machine which is displaying the result has exactly the same number of votes as was given to him while he was sitting whole day inside the polling station watching the voting. Please see it for yourself when you go, that the polling agents of all the candidates would be there watching the entire proceeding, will also be identifying the voters for any kind of an impersonation which is possible. And then at the close of the poll at 6 o'clock or something, whatever is the time, he will be given a signed certificate in his hand, a form which becomes statutory form, that this is the number of voting. That's the kind of transparency and trust we have in the system. So, ladies and gentlemen, Election Commission of India in the conduct of the polls has benchmarked processes and approaches to win this trust through a mixture of voluntarism, disclosure, providing tools to elector for self-certification and verification, engaging all stakeholders, namely political parties, interest groups, civil society, press, media, and other international actors in the framework of continuous disclosures. You will find press everywhere near the polling stations. Please see it for yourself. The Indian elections also represent a very robust mix of the technologies, the IT platforms. The entire process of the electoral roll preparation, movement of logistics, displaying the numbers to the political parties is all automated. That is why at the end of the polling tomorrow, on 7th, on each phase, by the same evening or next day, we display to the country that this is what is the percentage of voting which has taken place. And that is an aggregation of the booth-wise figures which are given to the polling agents. It's not estimation, it's by and large through those reportings which come to us. 2024 is likely to see almost 70 elections worldwide. And therefore, the successful completion of general elections 24 in India, given the numbers and complexity, will be a fulcrum on which credibility of the democratic space worldwide will also be judged. So we want to add to the body of the credibility of the democratic processes world over by doing ourselves and conducting elections in India that yes, we are doing it in one of the most credible manners, so that it doesn't dilute, it only adds to the entire body. We work on the principle that no voter should be left behind, and therefore our electoral roll is highly inclusive. Number of enrolled voters, male and female, almost equal. When you go to the field, please see the enthusiasm among women also. You will see at every polling station there would be a ramp, there would be a wheelchair, and the persons with disabilities would be helped to kind of come to the polling. This is in addition to the fact that we have given rights to the 85 plus citizens and persons with disability to cast vote from their home. So 7-8 days before the poll starts, many of them have opted to cast their vote from the comfort of their homes, and they have already, that voting through the postal ballot, what we call, has already taken place. But still, majority of the fellows want to come to the polling station because it's in an environment of a festival. We often say India is a country of festivals, and the democracy, the festival of democracy, is one which people love and enjoy. So you will see it for yourself. Highly contested places, but the voting will be kind of long queues despite the heat, and we wish that you will have a very direct experience of how it happens in India. We have formed 6 smaller groups which will be traveling to 6 different states to view the elections. We have also directed our chief electoral officers in each of the state to facilitate your visits. I am sure that they'll make your stay and visits very, very comfortable. Because of the weather, if it's a little bit of inconvenience, it will be duly compensated by the delightful sights at the polling stations, seeing how robust is the democracy. All classes of people standing in the same queue and waiting for the voting would be a sight to be very, very delighted about. You are free to see for yourself some of the hallmark processes and steps, such as the safety of the polling stations, the outreach measures in play, the political contestations and participation, the free press, and the capacity building and training of the electoral team through the IT systems which has gone into it. The work starts around a year in advance, because 1 million polling stations, at least 5 persons inside the booth. So it's 5 million fellows who get trained to how to conduct elections. And you will see they're all borrowed from different government departments, and they come on deputation to us during the period of elections. So we in the Election Commission of India are around 700 to 800 persons. We suddenly get swallowed to 1.5 million fellows. So that's what is the 15 million fellows. That's the size, and that's how we control them, because the Constitution gives us a special power that everybody is deemed to be under discipline and control of the Election Commission during the process of elections. It's my earnest hope that apart from what we do and claim, given your incredible depth of expertise, you will be able to tell us both on our USPs and gaps, if any, that you may notice during your visit to the polling stations. We'll be very happy to receive them and improve further. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I hope your visit to the states will be an enriching experience in which you will see the electoral system of India firsthand and also become aware of the best practices developed and followed by us. You will be duly taken care of by our COs, and I'm sure you will be also able to do some local sightseeing despite the weather, and come back with wonderful memories of your visit to these states. Thank you very much for taking your precious time and coming to India for joining in this IEVP, despite the weather conditions which are not exactly that favorable. I wish you a very, very safe journey to the states and return to Delhi, and a very, very comfortable stay in India. Thank you very much.